Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Do a little Mr. Miyagi. No, I'm doing the Karate Kid focus in and out right here. This is like me breaking blocks of ice. Okay.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
I dangled for too long there. That wasn't fun.
But I'm so apathetic to Star Wars that this episode could have featured Yoda riding on a dildo being wielded by R2-D2, and I would have the same reaction.
Yo, you let that joint hit the back of your throat. Have you no shame?
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I want to dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
Oh, yeah, is that sauce good? Oh, that sauce is good.
You got to watch it. You got to hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching this
video
needs to
that.
go over
Don't say it like that.
And share the video. We got to keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it.
Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso.
But it was a space battle. It's a visually impressive object all over it.
Great Scott.
I'm retarded.
It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot watching each other do weird shit.
Oh, God.
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
Oh.
A lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good.
I'm colored. Shut up.
I'm not gonna try and win hearts and minds, pretend I'm something I'm not. Like a video game. No, it's bullshit. Not real. But we don't want Revan touched. No.
Agreed.
You don't want anything good touched.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because Disney Star Wars is a bad touch.
It is a bad touch.
Touches you in the bad place.
It's a bad touch.
Show me on the doll where Disney Star Wars touched you.
I need a bigger doll.
Oh, God.
There's no doll left.
Howdy, all! I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and it is May the 4th. So let me wish each and every one of you, May the 4th be with you, because you know what? Disney Star Wars has proven that it will carry on the mantle, the glory, the legacy of George Lucas Star Wars. They have brought Ahsoka into the limelight. Rey will make a new Jedi Order where she will train Grogu to be the greatest of all Jedi once he's done with his time with Mando, once they've had their adventures. And we know and feel this because on May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, it represents everything that is great about Disney Star Wars, which is just everything Dave Filoni does. Tony Gilroy has made Andor some of the best Star Wars television ever, okay? And I can say that because I am a real Star Wars fan. I love everything. I watch everything. I write great reviews. I hit that like button all the time. I make sure that everybody who stands up for the glory of Kathleen Kennedy, who protects her, who shields her from the internet trolls, who take their time every day to try and shit on all the great work she's done with Dave Filoni and our friend Jon Favreau, okay? We have to remember everything they have done, everything they have worked hard to make better than what George did. Do you understand? They have made it better than George Lucas. The Rise of Skywalker took Star Wars to heights we have never seen before. And now we're getting the Mandoverse. They are so good, they have the ability to remake Heir to the Empire. That's how good this will be. So you guys have to understand, on this actual real Star Wars day, May the 4th, we must realize, we must have our moment that Disney Star Wars keeps on winning, and it'll keep winning into the future. I cannot wait 10 years from now to celebrate the sequel trilogy like we've celebrated Revenge of the Sith this past week. So thank you, one and all. May the 4th be with you.
What?
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
I have got to change that. I just didn't have time today because I had to do my Doctor Who review this morning. I got to get that one. I got to change that up. I can't take that anymore. It's bad enough it exists. Look what you made me do. Look what you all made me do. Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the round table where we give you our unique, fun perspectives on the week's events. We try to have fun here. And listen, somehow, some way, shape, or form, we make me suffer. Listen, we've blown past all the tears. We got no more tears to go. I will shed tears, but there's no more tears. So now it's just piling on, and maybe something else comes. I don't know. You guys have to be creative at this point. Think of all they've done to me: face painting, hand holding, fake reviews, pretending to be something.
Gay
I'm
sex.
Not. Hey, what? I wish to God right now I could just ban you like I banned Dom and I banned Ariel. I wish I could.
He admits it, Chad. He admits it. Ariel's been banned.
Welcome, everybody. We've got an interesting show today. It should be a lot of fun. We hope you're going to enjoy it. Jed, how are you? You're in as much pain as I am right now, I suspect.
I'm not as much, I don't think, because Doctor Who is gracefully done, at least for the time being, so we have a relief. Yes, the episode was terrible. Yes, It made me want to gouge my own eyes out, but it's over. For now, at least. I don't think it's coming back, but it might, so this is the brief period of joy that we can have.
Yeah, and then we got to go over it tomorrow night.
I'm just terrified that apparently a lot of stands are calling for Tony Gilroy to come in and make Doctor Who now, and I don't want to see that.
God, can we stop sucking this man's dick? He's not that good. He's not.
I don't want to see what he do to Doctor Who because he doesn't really care about Star Wars. You can tell it's not a Star Wars show, even if it's good. Which I can't say anything about that. But it's not Star Wars. So
Tony Gilroy is an activist who coats it, and I'm not really an activist writing. So no, he doesn't care about the franchise he works on. He's a mercenary. He comes in and he coats it in what he wants to talk about in the franchise and vehicles it forward, and then says, "Oh, I didn't mean to talk about this. You're just seeing what you want to see." No bullshit. Fuck you. Hi, Dragon Lady. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, just doing all right.
That's good. Good. Okay. Welcome back, Dre. So you come back and you always feel like you missed something, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I always miss something, and I tell you, it is nothing short by the grace of Black Jesus that I'm actually here today. So I've had a heck of a week. So first, good points. Got Ison 3 in the mail. That was very cool.
I saw it. Nice.
I'm looking forward to reviewing that this week, and that's going to be fun. Yesterday, unfortunately, a friend of mine had passed away, and I had a funeral to go to. And right after that funeral, I got hit in the back of my vehicle. So that was great.
Yeah.
Some young 20-something that's looking at his phone and not paying attention to the road
Fucking people on their fucking phones in the fucking car.
Slammed right into my love child, bent that joint inwards, and I'm just like,
totaled.
It's not totaled. Thank the
Okay,
good
okay,
Lord.
okay,
It's not
okay.
totaled, but let's plug this. Baby can't drive at night. Let's get that out the way. So, but I'm very thankful that I went to the doctor today,
Huh?
and muscle pain, some back stuff, old guy stuff. But other than that, I'm thankful my wife wasn't in the car with me. So
yeah, that's because she's
because we're literally 3 weeks away from baby coming.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
that is good. Do you have a good car guy? You have a good car guy?
Oh yeah, I got a couple of Asians on my retention. It should be okay. But right now I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm trying to call I'm trying to get some of that Jew money. So I'm trying to.
Can I have some of that?
Oh yeah, I don't
have it. My bag of Jew gold's empty.
Yeah, I know your Jew gold is missing, but there's a couple of TV Jews that I've already contacted, so I can try to get some of the Jew money. So try to make lemonades out of lemons. So
Yeah,
we're here.
Be thankful that that worse things didn't happen. That's and that these things be fixed. I mean, unfortunately, these things cost money.
Yes,
but it's unfortunate, and but always be thankful for health, and especially because your wife wasn't in the car during this period of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there we go. All right, hail howdy to the chat. Here to do your job. Play the crown game that's going on now. They need to get rid of this crown thing, this XP thing. It is annoying as all sin. It really is. This isn't freaking Twitch. It's YouTube. Why YouTube is trying to copy a failed platform at this point?
That's where the crowns are coming from.
That's what people are saying. It's based on Twitch, because I've never been on Twitch, so I don't know.
Yeah, I knew that don't look familiar, but I just couldn't.
It started at on Wednesday night or some shit like that.
Oh,
and because it wasn't there Wednesday in the afternoon, then suddenly it was there at night on another stream, and it's been going on, and it's just dumb. Like I said, YouTube is the most successful platform in this realm. Why are you copying the one that's literally dying? Why are you doing that? It's bad enough you copy TikTok with shorts, and I got to play that retarded game now. But why are you copying Twitch? Nobody likes Twitch. Nobody likes Twitch. Anyways, hail, hi, chat. Hail, the goddess, good sir, Algrim, and Rubinex, my mods, here to keep the peace. Be all right with that. Going on down the list, because they're now with that, Legatus likes to play the game of just spamming for his XP, like the good bot that he is. I got to scroll down. God knows how long.
Sorry, we got carried away.
So I got to find somebody else. Hail Dom H. Hail Dom H. Who isn't banned? He's not banned. It was a joke. Nobody's banned. Good afternoon, Kale. How are you? Hail Ruben X. Hail Bruce. Welcome to the stream. Ruben X for $2. Just $2. Just $2. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you. Going on down, just seeing anybody else, fresh chats, because I want to say hi to you. Hail, Jay Frazier. How are you, my friend? Hail, Huzzah, son of Joxer. And anybody else just watching, not chatting, we're happy to have you here on this Sunday afternoon. Hit that like button, sit back, relax, and we're going to take you for a ride because we got stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about, of course, our Sunday privilege, the box office. We got box office stuff to talk about, and I guess we can make some predictions on some things now officially, because we're kind of doing, okay, what is Lilo just going to do in the end? Well, we can actually probably definitively say some stuff now after this weekend's box office. We must talk the news of the week when it dropped. The Harry Potter casting increases. They have cast the Holy Trinity, and I have thoughts. Probably not as positive. A lot of people believe, but not so much negative. I'm just asking questions. Then, of course, I was reminded of this last week. I'd forgotten on Double D's. We've arrived at Switch 2 launch week. We're here. And I'm going to say this, despite the energy that is out there and the clear success it's going to be, it still feels underwhelming to me. So I want to talk about the overall launch of the Switch. Despite the fact that it will clearly be a massive success, it still doesn't feel right, if you ask me. Maybe it's because I'm not a Nintendo. I don't know. But we'll talk about that. And then, of course, even though we're going to be talking about it for the next couple of days, I'll be releasing my review on it later this evening, hopefully, because I got a busy day ahead of me still. We got this. I got an autopsy stream for Wheel of Time. And somehow between that, I got to do the edit for my Doctor Who review. But we are going to just do a little bit of pre-celebration. We'll do more of it tomorrow night on Who Cares Reviews. That Shooty Who is over. It's over. And I have already seen the overnights. Somebody, on a random post, somebody did post it. So I've seen the overnights. But we can still talk about it. I have a particular post that I found on X that I do want to read. I'll read it tonight, and I'll read it tomorrow night again. That perfectly encapsulates what Russell T. Davies, Chris Chinballs, and everybody involved with the BBC has done to one of the greatest franchises in television history. And what they've taken from people. Because they've taken something from people. Seriously, they have. We'll get into that. Anyway, so let's go right to it. I've got no preambles, no pre-games, no war-ums. Let's go into the box office, shall we? All right, Jed, last week you and I made a prediction that if Lilo Stitch got over 500 million by today, it was going to hit $1 billion. Do you think it did it?
I actually have heard that it did. So
okay,
I already heard that it got over 500. So yeah, it has a very good chance of making $1 billion. It's not guaranteed, but it's pretty much like it's.
I think it's going to happen. 610.
Oh Jesus, yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah. I didn't realize it was that high. I just heard it was over 500. Yep, it's going to happen.
The international is going to carry it.
What drop off is that? Is that like a 40%?
57% drop off. It's going to get there. It's got the legs.
Yeah, it's going to make
it looks like international's carrying it.
It's international because I don't think international cares about the backlash. That was our big thing. Dre, are you aware of the backlash?
Oh, what happened now? What?
Oh, okay. So,
what line?
Are you a fan of the original film?
I'm not a fan of it. It's there, so I don't really have. I like Ving Rhames' Bubbles. I like his character.
Well, I actually just rewatched the movie for the first time in decades last night.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. I never remember it being bad. I think it's like, for me, it was run of the mill Disney at the time. Like when Disney was just making hits. Like it wasn't like, for me, it wasn't like, Disney. It's like it ain't Beauty and the Beast. You know what I mean? But it was like, like a solid film.
Like Aladdin, Lilo & Stitch turned into a good overall series that went on for several years between the original, straight to DVD, and TV movies and TV seasons. So it was good. So they changed the ending essentially, where instead of Nani becoming a good, basically, even though she's sister, parent to Lilo, to take care of her, to do everything possible, take Lilo at home. She sent her off with the government so she could be a marine biologist in California.
So yeah, the whole thing with Ohana means family. They focused on responsibility instead, and said sometimes you need to think about your own health as well, your own family. Like you need to take care of yourself first, type thing. So yeah, she abandoned Lilo and moved to the continental United States.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so
that scene is the hopeful. That's a positive ending. So instead of doing the character arc, which I just watched the original film, where she starts out like kind of being repressed, uncomfortable, not happy with the situation, being Lilo's guardian, to growing to realizing how beneficial this is for everyone and how much this matters by the end of the film, and making a happy little family of foundlings that they have together with Bubbles and the aliens and whatnot, and her boyfriend. Instead of that arc, the goal is where she started in the original movie. And that's something I talked about with Ironheart a couple weeks ago, is that these people fundamentally misunderstand characters to a degree where what was previously an obstacle, a character flaw like Tony Stark's egotism and his narcissism with Ironheart, it is now the goal to arrive at the character flaw. And that's what this movie's doing. Instead of the character flaw that Nani has to overcome and learn to be better, that's the goal. That's the destination. That's the positive ending, is achieving that character flaw. And I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't like that. I mean, like, and plus that's got nothing to do with the culture of the Pacific Islander people. They're family over everything. And so I don't think that. Once again, I'm not a big fan of the film, but I don't think that's that message even appropriate for the culture that's even being represented. Honestly, if we want to play that game, which of course that's the game they're playing, that I don't like that. I don't really like that at all.
And there was a big
and I don't
backlash.
see how that. I mean, once again, I'm not going to go see that film. I haven't seen a Disney remake in I don't know when did Beauty and the Beast came out. That's the last one I saw. And I swore off of them for the rest of my days because that was an abomination. So I don't know what's leading. I don't know if the story beats stay the same and then lead to that outcome all the same, or
there's a lot changed. There's a lot changed. I don't know if you remember the guy in the original film, like the 10-foot, 20-foot tall shark man.
With the tusk.
Yeah, they cut him out of the movie entirely.
He gone.
Then who's chasing Stitch then?
Oh, they cut out. Well, I mean, there's still the scientist, I believe, his creator, but there's no big action set piece at the end. And their explanation for that is we want it to be a lot more personal, and that wasn't the plan of the original film anyway. Because I wasn't aware of this. That apparently the movie came out in 2002, right, which is right after 9/11, and it was originally going to have the chase scene happen in Honolulu, and that ship does kind of look like an airplane.
And the now I'm glad you said that, Jeb, because the original cut did have a 747 jet flying around.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I remember that, and then they edited it to be an alien ship and all that stuff.
So they had to make that change. So he's justifying the change to the ending. He's like, well, that's not even the original ending, so why should I be beholden to the quickly remade ending?
Once again, let's just abandon lore. But so it garnered initial backlash. A lot of people pushed back. And our question last week, when the debate about 400 million in the opening weekend and 300 million in opening weekend total, like, okay, will this thing hit $1 billion now? Will the backlash affect it? Apparently, the backlash has not affected it. It is chugging along. International is going to carry it. By the time it's done, it may not be super 1 billion, but I think it will cross 1 billion now. I think it's got
more than likely, and
it's got another 400 million in it.
Yeah, I think we discussed that like right when this jump was announced. Like it's Lilo and Stitch. It's gonna get all the kids.
That was before we heard the backlash and some pushback.
Yeah, but this is one of those transcendent films because the kids. Like like a couple weeks ago when last time I was here, I just did Career Day. Right, and I just did Career Day, and like one of the things I was asking all the kids, like, "Oh, what's your favorite animated? What's your favorite animated movie and everything?" All these kids were yelling at Lilo and Stitch, all of them. And so when I'm sitting there listening to them, I'm like, okay, yeah, this film's gonna make so much money that's gonna make my knees bend. So I'm like, this film is going to transcend controversy because all the kids want to go see this. And all the parents are going to take their kids to see this. And from what I understand, and once again, I'm not laying my eyes on this film, but what I understand, there's no big push of the X Division Championship or any butt stuff. So I'm going to assume that parents will be more willing to take their children to go see this film because it's not muddled in that kind of controversy.
No. It was like nerd controversies. Like you have altered something we love and we're angry. But it hasn't been enough to slow it down. If anything, it maybe slows it down from being 1.2, 1.5, maybe just 1.1 at this point.
Maybe.
So that's I think is much
barely noticeable.
Done. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with my original statement way back when. It's gonna hit $1 billion, no doubt. If it's 600 million in 2 weeks, it's going to hit $1 billion in a month.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just facts. It's just,
now, is this the only successful Disney film of the year? That's the discussion. Because at the beginning of this year, when we looked at the whole list of box office stuff, we always said Lilo and Stitch was going to do well. Yeah. We weren't sure about $1 billion, like you're talking about, even before the controversy, but we knew it would be a runaway success and Disney would put it in the win category. Is there anything else that's going to compete with Lilo and Stitch in Disney's catalog for the year? Because Freaky Friday is not going to do it.
And that Elio movie from Pixar, it's looking to be a bomb.
It looks so bad.
Its opening is going to be like 45 million domestic. That's how bad it's going to be. It's not looking good. And we said that was going to do shit. I always said it was shit. So yeah, that's the other question then. Between MCU, Star Wars, Pixar, Disney Homebrew, after Lilo and Stitch, what they got? because they've already taken it in the butt several times from Snow
Ooh.
White and the MCU on multiple levels.
Yeah, and I don't think Baby Steps is going to.
Oh no.
It might
I'll
break
be honest
even.
with you. I keep forgetting that movie's coming out.
Oh, I can't forget it. Now we're not going to talk about MCU today. For once, we're not talking MCU today.
Yeah.
Outside of like
You don't want to talk about Thunderbolts getting its final run?
No, I don't, because it's already lost money. Who cares?
Well, it's not crossing 400. It sounds like, so it's really bad.
All right, let's.
Oh,
I might as well.
Jesus
Fine, I'll
Christ.
bring it up. I'll bring it up.
That's all there is to say about it. Is that it's dead in the water now because of Lilo and Stitch, and doesn't look like it's going to cross 400.
Well, it's
so.
also dead because even Mission Impossible, with its, not impressive, it still only had a drop also of 57%.
That's pretty good.
It had
I was
a good-
hoping the international would be a lot stronger. Is it released
that's
everywhere?
Goodwill.
Well, yeah, it's let's see if it released everywhere.
These movies definitely have more legs
Yeah,
than a lot of
it's
other
all out.
blockbusters.
It's out everywhere. It's out everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it's going out like this, but it's done anyway. So I'm not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
Drake,
it's good. It's
did
good
you see
enough
it?
for
Did you
people to
see it, Drake?
enjoy.
did you see it?
No, okay. Now, everybody's gonna clown me. Everybody's gonna clown me. It's
I
fine.
haven't seen it yet either. Don't worry.
So no, not just that. I went to the movies for the first time. What day is it? A week and a half ago. Went to the theater for the first time this year. You know what I saw? Final Destination. That's what I
Okay.
went to go see.
Yeah, people call it slop, but fun slop.
Yes, it's slop, it's garbage, but I've watched all these movies for decades, and I enjoy seeing teenagers get their comeuppance. So it's fun slop. So
that fits in with the franchise.
Yeah, and to be fair, they actually tried to do something different this time. So I gotta give them a little bit of credit. They actually tried to do something different, and it was actually an interesting new take on how the franchise works. So I was entertained. I saw gruesome teenagers getting destroyed. I had fun. And that's why I won. I
There's
wanted
nothing
fun.
wrong with slop when it knows it's slop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that like the Final Destination films for that particular reason. So yeah, I don't watch them because I find slasher horror films way too cheesy. But I prefer gothic horror, in my opinion.
Yep, and that movie's making money. That don't cost like $20 to make.
Yeah,
and so it's
that's the way to do it.
money.
Make more cheap, dumb, fun movies, and you'll see a lot more profit.
It feels like they're doing that. I came across something on the news on Double D's. I think it was on Friday, where there is a push to be making low budget nothing movies now, and we're going to talk about another one on this list that, again, low budget. Right here, they say $50 million. Yeah, it's made its money back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's made it. Its break even was around 120, 150.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's made its money. Made its money. Good for that. It knows, but it knows
That's
this.
the way to do it. It knows its audience. Unlike
Thunderbolts, which is slop.
Oh my
It doesn't
God.
think to thing. I mean, this is updated. No, it's not updated to the weekend yet. They have it. They can't. It's doing so bad. They don't even have numbers to update it to today.
Golly.
They can't even update it today.
So yeah, I mean, everybody knows this movie is. See, once again, I don't mind a movie being garbage. Nobody likes garbage movies more than me. I go on Peacock and go to their low budget films joint that I drew the backgrounds for, like that type of stuff. And you see actors you haven't seen in years, like Rico from freaking Starship Troopers trying to be somebody's daddy. And it was like a film called like 4 Tornadoes All at Once. Like that was the name of the movie. Okay. And guess what? Trash. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
But this is old school direct to video trash. That's what they used to be, that whole market.
Yep.
And there should be a market for that. As long as they know what they are.
Yeah, but Obama killed that market in 2008.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But this movie, Thunderbolts, tries to take itself seriously.
Yeah.
It tries to take itself as a legit film. It's garbage, and you shouldn't have a budget of $200 million.
Yeah, well, yeah, the 180 budget's a lie. That thing's over $200 million.
Oh, it's definitely over $200 million.
Yeah. So
it's not even.
So
way
it's
over
not.
$200 million.
It's going to lose money. But here's a movie. I got another movie up here just because I knew it came out this week and I wanted to look at it. Karate Kid Legends. I looked up, doesn't say it here, but I looked it up. $45 million budget. Now, not a grand opening, but if it gets a full run, it could get its break-even point is 112.
With that budget, they could probably pull it off.
And that's a legitimate budget for a movie like this, $45 million. I don't feel like that's bloated in any way, shape, or form. They shot on location.
That's sensible.
I mean, they paid Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan their money, and just made apparently a nice. People have liked it. They say it's nice, it's respectful, it's not agenda filled. Maybe not the most exciting Karate Kid movie ever, but it's not terrible. That's what I'm hearing. I might watch
it's better than the previous Jackie Chan one. It's a good thing in my book.
You mean the vehicle for Will Smith's kid?
Yep. Yeah. But I mean, Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan aren't exactly expensive actors these days, so they probably had pretty decent billing.
Jackie Chan's past his prime, and listen, I'm sure Ralph got a nice payday in the end out of Cobra Kai. I'm sure he's doing okay now, but he's not exactly he doesn't actually reach top tier Robert Downey Jr. $45 million for a movie.
Heck,
That's
no,
insane.
Which nobody's worth that. I'm sorry, nobody's worth that.
Yeah, nobody's worth that.
Nobody's worth that. But hey, take it. They offer to you. You fucking take it. You just do it. I mean, I'm not gonna begrudge RDJ taking that paycheck. You know, after he's done ruining what's left of the MCU with Doomsday and Secret Wars, he doesn't have to do shit for the rest of his life with whatever's left of it. He ain't gotta do shit. After he pays his taxes, you just sit there and eat vegan hamburgers.
He can say he's the beginning and the end of the MCU.
Oh man,
he's the alpha and omega.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring this up where this is nice. It's got about 112 million break even. I think it'll reach that in its run. I think it's a good guess. And this is where it has to go back to. Spend $45 million on a simple movie, respect if it's part of a franchise, or just make something niche and fun. So here's our roundup. Lilo and Stitch, we will, of course, check back on this for the coming weeks through June just to see if it hits it. Because now, with the coming of these movies right now, I mean, there's a couple more movies coming out. Let me bring up the. Well,
several of the movies that are coming out are currently in reshoots or recently did, because Fantastic Four just did reshoots, and there's reports that Superman's doing reshoots and getting re-edits.
Rumors.
Yeah, rumors.
Yeah.
I hope it's true.
Now, we've got now a stretch until the throwdown in July. And a lot of these movies are things some people are looking forward to. Ballerina, listen, Ana de Armas is smoking hot.
That's why I'm going to go see it.
But I don't care about Ballerina. I just don't.
I need to watch the John Wick movies first, though. I've only seen the second one, so I might be
you might want to do that first.
yeah, might make sense.
But, Ballerina's probably going to do fine. I think I predicted it'll do fine. Because, listen, Ana de Armas, people will go watch a hot chick.
As long as the budget was reasonable, it's going to make a pretty stack.
We'll have to look that one up. But that's this week. That's Ballerina this week. Then we're going to get the Disaster of Elio in 2 weeks. But because it's even worse because it's opening up against How to Train Your Dragon live action, which we have talked about extensively. I think I've said before, I'll say again, it's going to have a very good opening weekend. How to Train Your Dragon's going to have a very good opening weekend. But if the rumors are true, which they have said, if the trailers have lied to everybody, essentially, from what we understand. They show you all your favorite moments. The movie is not going to be the original movie. If we thought the changes they made to Lilo and Stitch, it's a small change at the end, which has left a bad taste in some people's mouths. If they do what they said they're going to do with How to Train Your Dragon, the backlash could be bigger. And it could sink it. I've always said if it comes out and it changes it way too much, it'll have a great weekend, but then it's going to peter out fast. And I don't want it to do well because I think it's a bastardization, honestly. I don't want it to do well. I think it's
I would rather Elio make money than How to Train Your Dragon. I don't like anything that I've seen coming out of it. The funny thing is we were at Epic Universe and they had no live action stuff there. It was all the cartoon, all the original animated
And it's
film.
all respecting how it looked in the cartoon.
Yeah, there was no fat bitch twin. There was no race swaps. There was nothing like that. It was the original film.
And the dragons look like the dragons.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah.
The animatronics are phenomenal there.
Yeah. So You got Trey Giant, and then there's 28 years later that everybody is very excited for that. I'm not. I don't care about that franchise. It's not for me. But a lot of people are hot for that movie, and that probably has a massively low budget, and it's not going to make $1 billion, so it's probably going to do well.
This will tell you how low the budget was. They used iPhone cameras for a lot of the film.
I saw the rig. Have you seen the picture of that rig? It's like a halo. And it's like
they just use the crew's phones to film the movie. That can make it dirt cheap because cameras are expensive these days.
Yeah, they are.
Most studios just rent them because they're so expensive. Like the IMAX cameras that Christopher Nolan uses, they're like millions and millions of dollars. It's insane. Like $8 million, I think, is what I heard for one of them.
So with 20 years, it's probably going to be fine. If it sticks to landing, it's going to be like a cult happening favorite thing. And then apparently, there's F1. I could give 2 shits about F1.
Ain't Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. But some people are actually excited for it. But reports are this thing costs like $300-400 million to make.
Oh, geez, it's not going to make money. Then.
I've heard it's a massive, way more expensive than you think it was going to be. And Megan 2.0, I don't give a crap about Megan 2.0. But June is going to be basically interesting. I would say it's a nice undercard to what's going to happen in July. That's a good way to put it, I think. It's a nice undercard for the 3-way dance in July. But there you go. There you go. A lot of these are going to probably cost more than they should. But maybe, just maybe, we'll see a trend going back to them. So we'll cover box office as we always do throughout the rest of June. And so it should be interesting because we got to keep ourselves busy until Dinosaurs versus Superman versus Baby Steps. Dinosaur is still going to win.
Without question.
I mean, with everything coming out that we've seen concerning the possible reshoots of Superman, the definite reshoots of Baby Steps, there is no way either of those movies. I mean, Jurassic Park could put out a dumb poster over at the end of last week that everybody trolled on. That's not going to change anything. We trolled the poster. People are still going to show up and watch Dinosaurs.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that they're actually putting some scenes from the book onto this film, such as John Hammond's Dark Side, which I've been wanting that for years, to be honest.
We covered that early on in the first trailer. Yeah. We noticed they transplanted scenes that were in the first book that didn't make it into the first movie into this movie. So that's already apparent.
Didn't the rough scene appear on Jurassic Park 3, but it was the Spinosaur and not the T-Rex doing that bit?
Yeah, there was a sequence similar. That definitely seemed inspired by.
Yeah, I was trying to vaguely remember. I've only seen it a couple of times, and I don't really like Jurassic Park 3. That's probably the only one I actually don't like, despite the Spinosaur. But
all right, so that's happening. That's happening. So we're gonna keep an eye on June. We'll get back. We'll touch on these things, but the real fight is in July. But before that, though, our I guess is the bigger topic of today. I guess. They cast the Holy Trinity for Harry Potter.
And Dre can finally be a fan.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I said way back in the beginning, this would hinge on this casting. And I want to approach what I'm going to say very carefully because I already did a take on it earlier in the week. I didn't get any pushback at all, honestly, though. But with Black Snape happening, it told us exactly what they were going to do with this. Okay? First and foremost, the DEI aspect is front and center. So I predicted, you were all here with me. I said they will make Hermione not black, but brown. Didn't I say that? I did say that repeatedly. Well, they did. They made Hermione brown.
Hermione's a Mexican?
No, she's of probably Indian descent, Middle Eastern descent, or something like that. I don't know. It's modern. This is out of current day England, so I can't. I don't know how to interpret it. But here's the thing. Now, is this horrible? No. Apparently, this little girl is a good little actress. She has done some stage work. She's a legitimate, but And most people are saying they're fine with this. It's not that I'm not fine with it. My point is, and I want your opinion if you think I'm correct on this. I guarantee the final 3 to 5 little girls that made the cut to be the finalists, they were all not white.
Yeah.
That's a fair
I can
guess.
put good money on that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever know it. I mean, at best, Dre Fair's right. At best, she's at best she's a
half breeds.
Thank you. Yeah, at best. Now, again, I don't have a problem with her existence. I hope that she does a good job on it, and I hope that the people surrounding her protect her, and all 3 of these kids get protected from the degeneracy that is going to surround them very soon. Point is, though, it's still a race swap.
Oh, that's not debatable.
But some people really aren't. They're still making a bigger deal out of the Snape, the obvious, very full-on black Snape. But they're kind of just going, I'm fine with it. But it is still a race swap. I just find it slightly hypocritical that they're not really mentioning it that much.
I think because the Snape one is just so egregious.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of overshadows that they got, I don't know, half-breed Mexican, Indian, Indonesian to play Hermione. I think because the Snape Joan is just so like it's so what's the word? Egregious. That's the word. Yeah. It's so egregious because you're picking a character that is traditionally white and has a character background that involves hanging, and you made him black. There's a lot to unpack there. That's more than just the half-breed nice haired girl. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just overshadowing, and I think people, I don't want to put it this way, but are more willing to accept this race swap than Snape's because it's just not as impactful. Now, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I've got no dog in this fight. But as a non-fan, I don't really care about Hermione. The only character that I would really know is Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. So if they made Harry Potter like an Indian, Mexican, black guy, I think the world would probably burn down to the ground.
Oh, it would have. It would have.
You know what I'm saying?
And they didn't ginger side the Weasleys now.
That's what I'm surprised about. I was kind of hoping that would be funny.
Yeah. But go ahead. I was going to go to Jed. I was going to you. What is the favorite word used for Hermione?
So that's why I do agree that the Black Snape is a lot more egregious and in your face, but when it comes to the actual plot of the series, her race is going to be more impactful to the story than Snape's because that hanging scene is a flashback in the last season. That's a very small moment, whereas with Hermione, is starting in the second season, guessing, she's going to be called Mudblood. She's going to have race slurs thrown against her. She's going to have discrimination from Malfoy. There's going to be in-your-front racism metaphors with her repeatedly. And then just thinking about the scene with Bellatrix in Deathly Hallows, which she carves the racist slur into Hermione's arm. But that's why I think this was intentional. The two most racially charged characters that you could have, like with the change, it becomes racially charged characters that you could choose are the ones that were swapped. That's why I think it's intentional. Like if they had done the Weasleys, it wouldn't have seemed necessarily as intentional because they're seen as the purebloods. But because they stayed white, because Hermione as the dirty mudblood was race swapped, it feels intentional and feels like there's going to be a racial connotation, a racial narrative to the story. And that's what I have a problem with. This girl, she seems fine. Like some people are calling her white passing and shit like that. Like I don't know. I need to see more of her acting, see how she works. But my problem with it is because it's Hermione and the mudblood stuff. That's why I have an issue with this.
And you brought it up. In the books, it's not racism, it's classism in the books.
Yeah.
And now, but this makes it race-based, not class-based.
Yeah. That's
true. Now, so I still I wish we didn't have to cover it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because right here, this was supposed to be faithful adaptation. there's been nothing faithful about this rollout of this cast in the end. It's been one misstep after another. And once again, we're to those who might want to try and pick this apart, we're talking about fictional characters. We're not talking about the real kids on the screen here. We're talking about their fictional characters and how they should look based upon the lore. And in my opinion, I said this earlier in the week, it is unfair to put this little girl under this microscope like this.
100%. 100%.
I mean, but now a lot of people are not making a big deal out of it. And I don't think I'm making a big deal out of it. I'm simply commenting on the fact that it happened. And going forward, it's just a mark on what they care about in all of this, that they want to push DEI still. And at the same time, I would say that Papa Asidu, who is Black Snape, he's an idiot because he knew exactly what he was getting into, and he wants it. Anybody that willingly would take on that character wants to be in the spotlight like that, and therefore talk about his activism.
Oh, hoping that the controversy will fuel his career. Which how often has that worked out? Looking at Rachel Zegler,
yeah,
short-lived.
Yeah. Anybody hear anything about Evita? Anybody hear anything about Evita? And yes, has she signed on to possibly do a movie with Marissa Tomei? Perhaps, but that movie doesn't have funding yet. So that may not happen. Hopefully. I would love nothing more than to never talk about that fugly bitch again.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to never talk about her again. But I'm going to have to talk about this Harry Potter show.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're in agreement. Season 1 is going to break all records. It'll break all records just for existing.
Yeah. The curiosity factor is going to fuel it quite a bit.
Now, where it starts and where this season ends, that'll be two different things because this is HBO Max. So they're going to do a weekly release. This ain't going to be batch. They're going to weekly the shit. Well, it's HBO. So they're going to treat it like House of the Dragon. They're going to treat it like every other show that's on both Max and I mean, because it's going to air on HBO Max and it's going to air on HBO cable as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no question they're going to do it weekly. Point is, though, it's going to start huge. I mean, this thing's probably going to have like 50 million overnight. What? That's my guess. That's how big it's probably going to be.
I don't know. That's really high. That's MASH finale. That's like that would make it one of the highest watched episodes of television in human history.
Think about it like this:
the biggest premiere in history.
The hype about this is going to be huge. You have people who are going to forgive everything as Potterheads and are going to watch it. Then they're going to be the hate watchers who are going to watch it just to be pissed off. And then there's our contingent. We're watching it because it's our job to watch and review this shit. And at this point, this is my job. I'm not watching this out of joy. I'm going to be watching this for work. So much so that when I do the review, I'm not going to do a solo review on this. One, in part because I'm not a hardcore enough Potterhead that I know every twist and turn on a page in the book. So I am not the best person to accurately say, is this being book accurate? I'm going to need help on this. But I'm not doing this because I want to. And the people around me are probably not going to do it because they want. They're going to do it because they need to. They're going to need to experience it the same way I'm experiencing it. So I'm going to put a panel together. But we're a year away from this at least. This ain't coming out till probably this time, maybe even winter of next year, because they have to appropriate. Rumors have it they're appropriating old set pieces from the movies, but they still have to make shit. They still got to make shit. And
make shit, but they do need to hurry because the ages. That's one thing I do like about what they're having to do. Mm-hmm. They have to put out the seasons nearly every year. They can't follow the normal HBO or the normal just streaming shows in general, where it's 2 to 3 years between seasons. They can't pull that off. That's something I will talk about tomorrow on Mellow Mondays. They just to show a series that you're taking too long. One Piece season 2, they revealed the Chopper reveal. And it looks god awful. I don't care. Jeremy's like, I don't mind it. I think it's Nightmare Fuel on wheels. Problem is, it says in that releasing in 2026. That means 3 years since live action One Piece first premiered. That's for just 8 episodes. Just while the manga and the anime are still going strong. I just caught up
on the manga right now, so I'm all caught up finally.
Yeah. How could for a century, not quite, but nearly a century, television make yearly seasons, but now it's almost impossible?
We actually talked about that on Mel Mondays last week. I asked the guys that, and in the end, we said it came down to a slow shift in priorities, a slow shift in had a lot to do with unions after the strikes, and also them wanting to just not work as hard anymore. The conversation is great. Guys, want to go check it out. Last week's Middle of Mondays. We talked about it for like 45 minutes. It was a really good conversation.
I think it also has to do with how expensive these shows are now.
That
Like
too.
Andor,
Yep.
they just revealed that it was over $600 million for
$650.
the two. Yeah. Which is absolutely insane. And so the studios want to delay those to justify those
now they
budgets.
They did spend that money. No matter how much I piss on Andor, they spent every bit of that money on that show.
I don't think they needed that much. Like, their sets are good from what I've seen. Their production design is good and whatnot, but it's still not $650 million
That's
worth.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
That's more than Avengers films gets.
Jed, you mentioned budget. Have you heard the rumor for the budget of Harry Potter show?
I've heard a couple rumors, and all of them are absolutely insanity.
Possibly $2 to $8 billion.
They really want to dethrone Rings of Power as the most expensive television show ever made.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I'm happy about, because I like making fun of Rings of Power for that being one of the biggest financial disasters in history.
We've only got one more season of it, so
hopefully,
it's done too. It's just it's a matter of time. We know it, as we called it. We called it from the beginning. I said from the very beginning, 3 seasons of Rings of Power. I said it from the very beginning, and they'll pull that escape hatch clause. Wheel of Time is the precursor to that, so it's coming. It's so coming. But $2 to $8 billion. Now it's a rumor. It's a rumor, but I believe this is Lifetime for the whole 8.
Yeah, for all.
Because some are saying they're going to split books into multiple seasons because they only want to do 8 episodes a season. I don't know about that. I think that's a bad idea. Just make more episodes in a season. Let's do it. So this could be, if they had not done what they did with the race swaps, and clearly they're probably going to change some lore here and there, Harry Potter could have been the most successful TV show of all time, and it would have dethroned the movies. Which and I know it's a hot bad take. I believe the movies deserve to be dethroned. I think they are. They get more love than they deserve. I think they're frankly abominations the more they go on. But I don't think this is going to have the lasting impact that it could have now. I think it's going to have an explosive start, and as it goes on, it's going to peak, and then it's going to be a decline until the very end. Because I just don't think they thought this through for the future, not realizing you can't DEI shit up in the midst of the DEI nightmare and expect it to be accepted and continue on. That's my thoughts. Any final thoughts on this? We can move on to something more interesting, I guess. Nope. All right, yeah, because we don't give a shit. We give a shit, but we don't give a shit is the problem. We want good television. We want respect for lore, but we don't talk about it. Okay, before we get to I want to do Switch 2 after this. Let's do one thing first. So Jed and our hopes and dreams happened. Ncuti Who's done.
Gloriously.
Dre, you got lucky. We had a small plan. We were going to try and make you watch the final episode.
With no context.
With no context. You got lucky. You got busy. You got real lucky.
Thank the Lord.
Ncuti Who. Like I said, I watched it yesterday. I recorded my review this morning. I have to edit it up, put it out there. I have to make a couple small additional clips in there because I forgot a couple things in retrospect, but you'll understand why when I say it. Because the show forgot about it too. Jed, we'll talk about this more in depth tomorrow on Who Cares Reviews. But this was clearly the most disastrous outcome the franchise could have had. Ncuti's final season.
it's a disaster on so many levels. I mean, just remembering a few months ago when Ncuti said next year they'd be filming his 3rd season, to talking, he constantly talking about there's more plans coming. This was never the plan. There was no marketing lead up. With every previous Doctor, when they left, there was a big hype about it. Like, Tennant got 4 specials to send him off. Even Jodie Whittaker got 3 specials to send her off. It was a big build up. There's the announcement of the new Doctor. It's a loving send off most of the time, or at least it's trying to be a loving send off.
Yeah.
And hype for the new actor to take on the role. I mean, I think one of the best setups that I'm aware of is Peter Capaldi taking over. The way that they set that up, the way they built up to that was absolutely phenomenal, including putting him in the 50th anniversary for just a moment. Yeah, his eyes. That was a great moment. It's a great moment. But yeah, this was shadow drop. I mean, a lot of people like us were aware that something like this was going to happen. All the rumors and leaks were true, but there was no announcement from the BBC. There was no announcement from from Disney. This seems like a disaster. It seems like a last minute, and bringing in the person who's supposedly going to be playing the Doctor now, it feels rushed. It feels like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? And like you said, it looks like this person was green screened on. I don't think. Do we want to spoil? I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Let's not. Let's save it for the reviews and for tomorrow.
Okay,
night. Yeah.
But it feels like that person was not actually on set with Ncuti when it happened. It just feels so fake.
It would totally explain why there's been no search. No public search or anything for a new Doctor. Because we talked about that last week. We said, if there was a new Doctor, they should have been pumping this up for months and months. And so now, if this is true, if it is going this way, because we'll talk about this tomorrow, there's evidence that it might not even be going that way. It explains everything. Why it was under lock and key and no marketing whatsoever. But
it feels like the end of this episode was tacked on. Like, this episode was an hour and 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Whereas most are about 40, 45 minutes. And about the 45-minute mark, there's an ending.
35 minutes. Yeah, it's over. And then it's hey, let's spend a half an hour about Poppy.
You could have literally ended it there, and it would have been bittersweet, but it would have been a normal season finale for someone who's not regenerating. But it feels like they're like, Shooty's out. The Disney deal isn't working anymore. What are we going to do? Should we write in a real ending? Should we write in a regeneration? It looks like they got a little money together to shoot 30 minutes of extra footage, which might be why there's no Christmas special, because they moved it over there, the timing slot. That's just a personal theory of mine. And yeah, it feels like the last 30 minutes is tacked on and it wasn't intended. It rambles
on and on and on, and it's tomorrow night we'll talk about more.
And another reason it feels so rushed is because it's literally stolen from WandaVision. He stole the plot.
And a little bit from Endgame. And a little bit from Endgame, too.
A little bit from Endgame, Multiverse of Madness, just Wanda's story in general. They're like, hey, we need to write something in. Wanda's cool, isn't she? She's such a good hero with such a good story, and she's so misunderstood. Let's steal her arc.
Let's, without, again, foreshadowing what we're going to talk about in my review and tomorrow night on Who Cares Reviews, it's an attempt to make Belligerent look good, and it fails.
And I love that the stands hate it more than anybody
else.
That's
where I wanted to go next. There's the reaction to that's why I want to talk about this more here, because tomorrow night's talk about the show. Here we could talk about the pop culture reaction to this. Even the stands hate it for different reasons that we hate it.
Mm-hmm.
There are the stands out there that are crying, Shooty deserved better. He deserved more. He should have had so many more seasons. Belligerent, they did her dirty. How dare they? Why didn't they give Ruby more screen time? Their reactions are completely different from ours. Whereas we're just like, this is shit. And it's horrible shit. And I want to read you guys something. I'm going to bring it up. I want to read something from an actual Doctor Who fan who wrote this. You could tell from what I went to read that they cared. And this, to me, what they're going to say, and if you would go on further to read the replies, this is how Doctor Who fans feel. So let me read this to you right now from Chat Noir on X Twitter. Russell T. Davies, I say this to you because you obviously don't know. Doctor Who was more than a show. Many of us got bullied for loving it, you know. Many of us who didn't fit in, no, we're not gay. We were not in wrong bodies. But we were shy, lonely, abused, and on the outside, everything sad. But we were included there, accepted. Every age, race, class, creed, outlook, every human being was loved by Doctor Who. That was the point. It wasn't a little sexuality and gender club with racism sprinkled over it. You took something precious as the true meaning of inclusive, something rare, truly rare, and you made it ugly and broken and false. You excluded those of us who came to it for shelter as kids. That's unforgivable. This world is better than sex and gender and race. This is humanity's world. Put the flags down, look at that lonely old person, that awkward young person, and bring them a hero. You took him from us. And the proper hashtags below. Jed, I think that statement says it all about how a real Doctor Who fan feels right now.
Yeah, I've definitely met a lot of people like this who grew up with the show and felt like this because, Doctor Who is one of those implicitly positive shows, and that's always a good thing out there. We don't need constant shows that are full of violence and gore and swearing and dark, depressing. We need shows that occasionally have speeches like Christopher Eccleston in his second episode. We always think that our world's going to be destroyed by asteroids or global warming or anything else, but we never consider the impossible, that we survive. And so I get this perspective. I didn't grow up with Doctor Who like this, so this is not the type of fan that I was growing up with it as a way to feel included. That's definitely not, that doesn't apply to me, but I've met many people who feel this way. And it sucks that, he fundamentally destroyed the show. He misunderstood it. He robbed it of people who were the true fans to give it to people who honestly weren't really a part of the franchise, a part of the fan base until recently, these freaks and weirdos. And he made it for himself because he's part of that group now, the over the top alphabet mob, and he made it for them. He stole it from the real audience to make it for himself and the people like him, and that's narcissistic.
Yeah, because one of the underlying themes of this final episode is, look, gay man have kid.
What?
Gay man have kid.
But it was Magic Baby.
Magic Baby.
He didn't have to have sex with the woman.
Yeah.
It was a miraculous conception.
I don't want to hear anymore.
You got to be the Virgin Mary. The Ncuti who is the Virgin Mary.
Of course.
Yeah. Because
I think Dragon Lady's back.
Oh, thank you. The thing is that it is, and I like Jed. I didn't grow up with Doctor Who like this. I did see a little bit as a kid, but it wasn't a important part of my foundation. But I did come to it as a young adult and appreciated what they did, what RTD Once Upon a Time did with great storytelling, great writing, actually sticking to what Doctor Who was. I mean, I have a clip here. I usually play it during Who Cares Reviews, so I'm going to play it today, of one of the greatest moments in all Doctor Who. I think it's one of the greatest moments, and of course, one of my favorite doctors, Peter Capaldi. Just this simple line right here.
I'm the Doctor, and I save people.
The Doctor saves people. The Doctor, of course, that's also Murray Gold doing good shit. Murray Gold must have been drunk for this entire season. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he phoned it in.
That was some of the cringiest, over the top, melodramatic shit I've ever heard. I mean, we'll talk about tonight, Jed. When Ncuti gets on Ronnie's scooter, hover scooter, the music, and he's flying around on it. Not only is the music bad, it's also retarded. He's flying through the giant bone dinosaur creatures that are being shot at by UNIT.
So the Megazord skyscraper fighting giant bone dinosaurs, and you decide to fly through the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, don't ask.
Instead of going around them to the Bone Palace to fight the Bone Monster?
Just literally through it with horrible CGI. Horrendous CGI.
Yeah, it's just like a close-up of his face as he go.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So,
how does this have $10 million per episode for the budget?
Because Disney. That's why Disney.
It's
but
so
in the end,
was that the volume? Wouldn't that have been great if that was the volume?
I have no idea.
It probably wasn't, but that would have been funny.
You brought up a point that RTD has butchered it. He sold out to his own derangement. But this wasn't a solo effort. Chris Chinball, or Chinball, we call him Chinball.
Yeah, the amount of people trying to forgive him is wild.
Yeah. I replied to a post. This man deserves. It's like, are we ready to forgive it? No. He laid the groundwork for all of this.
Timeless Children is still the worst thing to ever happen to Doctor Who, even with all of this.
Yeah, because it allowed all of this. It created all of this. So Chinballs, just a blame. Moffat has blame in this too, because he signed on as well.
He did Joy to the World, which had to come back in multiple ways. At the very
end of that, I forgot to add that in my review.
He said goodbye to the fat bitch star that he met for a couple hours and not to Ruby.
Yeah.
He never said goodbye to Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby was tacked in at the end there.
I will say Ruby's one scene in the TARDIS near the end, I think that was the best scene. Was her realizing what was happening.
Why? There's no explanation as to why she's the only one that remembers.
That's true. I just mean her performance. She actually tried. Like I think Millie Gibson could be a good actress.
If she had some more lessons and took her tits out more. Hey, she's got the body. Use it. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about more of this, but I just wanted to bring it up. And the overnights were not the worst of the season. It was what finale.
If this era didn't exist, the Shutagawa era, this episode would be the worst rated overnight episode in Doctor Who's entire history. Just the fact that it's the second best of this season doesn't automatically make it good. People are saying, oh, this is such a triumph. It's at 2.17 million overnight views. Yeah. Well, yeah, if this was Shutagawa's first episode, it would be the worst rated episode in the franchise's history. So yeah, you had 2 seasons of shit and you had one that was still utter shit, but better than the recent shit. Doesn't make it a victory. Yeah. We can't call this a victory. 2 million people overnight. That's an embarrassment. When David Tennant at his height, he got 15 million people to watch him overnight for Voyage of the Damned back in 2004, 2003, with Christmas, probably 2003. And that was when the country had 60 million people in it. And now we're like, yo, we had 2 million people. Yay.
Yeah. More people in the world, less people watching. That's our favorite tagline on these overnights. So RIP Doctor Who. Stay tuned for my review. Stay tuned for our show, Doctor Who Cares Reviews. You can watch it on my channel, Jed's channel, and Derny's channel. And hail Jay Fraser for 10 pounds. Hail Roundtable. In the past 24 hours, I've seen numerous videos about Disney's Doctor Who on both sides, criticizing the terrible finale. Adam, will there be a Doctor Who nerdgasm? RIP Doctor Who, RIP Harry Potter T. Yes, there will be. We are planning one. Post it. We simply have to decide what day and how soon. So yes, there will be a nerdgasm. We were gonna do it originally before, but scheduling just kiboshed the whole thing. A lot of things going on, and I couldn't get anybody to be around for it. So yes, we are gonna do a nerdgasm. Might not be next week, but it maybe. We have to sit down and talk about it. I have to make sure everybody come because I know there are a lot of people who want to come on and talk good Doctor Who. We're talking everything from William Hartnell to Peter Capaldi because that's all there is. There isn't any. I mean, for me, I said this today on my review. I'm perfectly happy with stopping at the Husbands of River song.
It's not a bad place to stop.
I mean, it's a happy ending. It's to spend a small eternity with a woman he loves, and just nice place to stop.
I would stop there if it weren't for the season 10 finale with Missy and the Master. I love that.
I know.
Bill gets great when she gets shot in the chest. But okay? I just don't want. That's when she becomes a good character.
I just don't want to see Capaldi regenerate. That's why I'm stopping. It's like, you know what? I can think that his regeneration happens in a better place.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. So yes, there will be a nerdgasm. Stay tuned for that, guys. I will let you know when it happens. So thank you for that 10 British pounds, Jay Fraser. Get up. Okay, there we go. Where is it? Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so all right. We got one more good topic. Who's buying a Nintendo Switch 2?
No one?
Do you know how I celebrated the week of the Switch 2 coming out? I got my N64 working again. Ooh. It's been a year and it hasn't worked. I got it up and running. I just beat Ocarina of Time last night, getting ready to play some Donkey Kong 64. And on Thursday, I'm going to be playing some Mario Kart 64 to celebrate. That's what I'm going to be doing.
You mean while everybody else at Geeks and Gamers is going to be playing Mario Kart World, you're going to play Mario Kart 64?
Yeah, I'm not spending $500 for a game. That's the way I look at it. Is Mario Kart's the only game worth buying?
All right, you took us straight to our first stop in this conversation. Switch 2 comes out in 4 days. Wednesday, Thursday. $450, which I'm not going to cry at that price because it's the price of a PS4, and that's what a PS4 is worth when it launched, $450. And it's the equivalent of PS4 in terms of power and speed. Okay, so Jay just brings that up. Before I go further, I'll make the statement that I made earlier. Do we at all think this is not going to be a massive, successful launch?
I think it would be a fool's errand to think that this joint isn't going to sell like liquid gold. I think that's a fool's errand. It has a built-in fan base. They're going to show up. Like they've been crying about on Twitter, but they're going to show up and give them 500 bones. That's going to happen. Not my Blacktail, but a whole bunch of other folks are going to line up in front of GameStop, wherever they're going to buy it at.
GameStop, Best Buy, they're all midnight openings for selling this shit.
Wherever it's being sold, it's gonna sell like hotcakes. I think it would be foolish to assume otherwise.
I think it's reasonably at this point in contention to be the biggest console launch. It's in contention for it. I don't know if it's going to make it. I think there's a reason. It's reasonable to think that might happen at this point to be the biggest console launch of all time.
Yeah, it's going to be a successful launch. Despite, like we talked about last week when we had Kratos on, despite the disastrous marketing campaign that Nintendo's had with this.
Yeah.
But now here's my question this week looking at it. It's going to be a success, but does it deserve to be a success?
Well, that answer is no. I mean, I think we discussed that right when the announcement was made, when they literally made no new designs and they have no titles worth buying on day one.
There it is. Exactly what Jed said to lead us into this. Where's the library? Where's the launch library? Jed, you said the one game. Mario Kart World.
There are other games that are going to be purchasable, but they're third-party games from what I'm aware. And then the next first-party run is going to happen in several months with Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime, neither of which are mainline franchises anymore. That's why a lot of people misunderstand me when I say this. They somehow think this means that I think the Switch 2 is going to be a failure. No, the Switch 2 is going to be gangbuster success, but it would be unequivocally, like not even in contention for the biggest launch of all time. It would be the biggest launch of all time if it had the Mario Kart game, if they had pretended that Mario Wonder didn't exist until right now and released it as a launch title, and another game in that vein like Legend of Zelda. Let's say a Zelda game, a Mario game, and a Mario Kart game. Or Smash Brothers. Imagine those games came out at launch. It wouldn't even be a competition. Like it would unequivocally be the highest selling of all time. And with it, combining that with the awful marketing, the lack of communication, the asinine decisions that Nintendo's been making, it is hurting its launch. It's still going to be one of the greatest of all time regardless, but it could be so much better. And apparently saying it could have been much better with smarter people in charge of the launch means that I think that it's going to be a failure is just baffling. But that's always the response I get from the Nintendo. Oh, you think it's going to fail, huh? No, this is the difference between, hey, top 3 of all time versus blow away, knock everyone out of the park, number 1 top total.
Objectivity is not a bad thing. When you're being truly objective, you can say, this is the smart stuff, the good stuff. This is why it's working. But I can also then say, I can take out whatever level of fan craziness I have, whatever love I have, something, and say, this is also why it's not working in the best possible way. And to me, the marketing, we talked about a lot that last week, but the launch titles. Dre, you are a fan of Pokemon.
I am.
You're a Pokemon fan.
I am.
And there are games set up for this A to Z, but A to Z's cross-platform, isn't it? It's both Switch and Switch 2.
Like, and here's and once again, you're speaking the truth. Because if ZA was being launched on the Switch 2 exclusively, they won't be able to design enough Switch 2s in time to get these purchases out the door. Not only will this joint be the highest selling game of the highest selling system of the year, it might be, as Jed had touched on, the highest selling console in history.
I've said that myself.
Straight up history. I'm talking PS2 releases. I'm talking Wii. I'm talking history. This joint would have sold more than slavery. Okay. This joint would have been absolutely gangbusters. but for the sole fact that one, I think this is a rush release. And I think we've discussed that before.
Yeah,
that
we went over that last week.
That we had no idea what they had no idea what they were doing, but stuff was leaking, and they just started to decide to just poop something out. I think, as Jed touched on, bad management is not ruining it per se, but it's definitely going to affect the bottom line for what's coming. If you're going to say, and like ZA is just a few months away, it's a few months away, and you said that you could have waited till the October launch to have ZA. Screw the Switch altogether. Screw it. The edition is going to be on Switch 2, and that's it. Billions and trillions of dollars would have been made.
Exactly. And so you've elected to not have a Pokemon game at launch.
That's crazy.
So, to me, the biggest crime in all of this is the launch library, because you have a pseudo Mario game with Mario Kart. Now, yes, is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the biggest selling game of all time on the Switch, one of the highest selling games ever? Yes, because you didn't have a new game for a decade. You just had that.
You just kept re-releasing it, adding DLCs. And...
Yeah. So great, you're doing that and you're feeding that beast, but it might not be perfection. I mean, I will say this because I watched some of the coverage from Geeks and Gamers on it. They're all hyped to play Mario Kart World this week, but they have said, "Wow, we may go back and play more Mario Kart 8 if it sucks."
Well. And everyone is saying no one gives a shit about the open world aspect. There's nothing to do in the open world. It's just something to kill time when you race between tracks. And it's turn off. You can turn it off. After the first week, the novelty is going to wear off and everyone's going to turn off the open world and just start doing cups like they've always done.
Yeah, I agree.
The open world, it's not the right type of game for open world. I love open world games. The Zelda going up to open world in Breath of the Wild, I think was great. Should have still had dungeons. That's the worst part about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, both
but the open world aspect is beautiful and incredible. Racing games aren't open world games. That's just...
And if you're going to do it, lean into it. Put some RPG aspects in there. Make getting upgrades for the cart quests out in the open world. Maybe if they had that going there, you're going to get a whole open world people who like to go around and grind for shit.
Yeah, but give it a story. Make it the Mario game. Have it be an actual Mario game with the story with Bowser as the villain or whatnot. Yeah, that could work. Absolutely.
But it's still a pseudo Mario game with just racing, and people are not exactly sold on what the tracks should look like from her. I heard that initial response is the tracks are not dynamic enough. I've heard that.
Yeah, there's a lot of straightaways. There's way too many straightaways. They're all way too wide, not enough going on.
They're banking a lot that a lot of people are going to harp on this, and if there's a huge peak and massive fall off of people playing it, now we'll only know by word of mouth because this isn't like a Steam game where there's charge or anything. It'll be word of mouth only, but that could be bad. But then again, you just said, we've been saying, where are the other first party titles? No real Mario game, no Zelda game. Now, of course, it's too soon since the last Zelda game to get another Zelda game. Yes. Was Tears of the Kingdom essentially Breath of the Wild Part 2 Redux? Yes. Because they used the same exact assets for a whole new game. They just put in a few extra things here and there. But no new Zelda game. No Pokemon game.
That's crazy.
Dre, when did Scarlet and Violet come out? How long?
So it's 2025 now, right? And it's every 3 year cycle. So 2022 had to be when.
Okay, so there could have been a legitimate mainline installment for Pokemon if they put the time in.
Yeah, usually it's every 3 years. That's usually three or 4 years.
But now, I'm not going to dismiss Z to A because it looks like a lot of people who are Pokemon fans that I know are excited for this. They're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to be a good game. But you're launching your console. Where's the main title Pokemon game? At least right away. We don't even know what the next one is. Do you, Dre? Is there even a sniff?
Oh no, there's not even a rumor of it right now.
Okay, all right,
because this is a Legends game, right? It's kind of
Legends game. So Legends games are pretty much, as I like to consider, filler games. Throughout all of Pokemon history, we've always had those. So, like for those old enough, remember Red and Blue and everything, and then in between that, we had Pokemon Stadium. If you remember in N64,
yes,
Pokemon Stadium. Then after that, we had Generation 2, which was Gold and Silver, and then in between Gold and Silver, we had what? Pokemon Stadium 2. You know, and like every generation has a filler in between. The Legend series have become the new Pokemon filler games. Now for those that were hardcore into, remember the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons and stuff like that.
I remember those.
but now it's the Legends. As far as Pokemon lore is considered, the Legends are the non-canon stories. That's the best way I can compare it to. And so they're like fillers just to hold the time. There's no real quest. There's no like what was that? Legends Arceus didn't even have battling in it. Like with
you just catch a Pokemon. You just catch a Pokemon.
You're just catching Pokemon, and you just like there's no battles. Like you can't fight your friends. There's no gym leader. Like it was just run around and enjoy the new skins for older Pokemon. Like that's how it was. And they're doing the same thing with ZA. Now they are bringing back the Mega gimmick, which is by far the greatest Pokemon gimmick in gaming, period. It's not even close. They're bringing back the Megas, so that's why people are sitting there with their hands.
And there's battles
way down there.
There's a lot of
and they're bringing battling back.
Yeah,
they're bringing battling back. Now, I don't think it's going to be the traditional Link battle. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something weird.
There's
because
movement, like you can move around in the battles and stuff like that. There's a lot of
it was really weird.
Stuff. Yeah.
It was a weird design, but there's not even a whisper of what the next generation is going to be, which once again they are fumbling so hard with the Switch 2, because if you were going to debut that joint with you already listed them. If let's say it was a new Smash Bros.
That was my next one I was going to say.
It was a Smash new Bros. Pokemon or new mainline Mario. You don't even get count chickens because those eggs are hatching. They're going in.
Everybody's buying. You bring in it doesn't make sense to me. Especially, other consoles launching, they don't have what Nintendo has.
Agreed.
In terms of their first parties,
100%.
Other launch titles have to require on a lot of things to get things going. You're Nintendo. You're guaranteed a mega launch if you have one game per major franchise ready to go. That's a real Mario game. They got the Metroid game, but it's releasing later. Put in Smash Bros, put in Pokemon, and put in a family game, party, put in a sports game, golf, all those things. You have those that line up, and you've got the greatest launch in history that will never be topped.
Agreed. 100%.
But they didn't. And that's why I go back to my original statement when we started this conversation. This is going to be one of the best launches of all time, but does it deserve to be? Because what is Nintendo really giving its customer base?
Not a thing.
It's $500 for Mario Kart.
Essentially.
Do you give a fuck about a Kirby game?
No.
Kirby's
never been mainline. They can say whatever they want. Kirby's never been mainline. Kirby's been niche for 30 years. Yep. Kirby's niche. Yep. Pikmin's niche. All these joints are niche. Mario, come on now. Mario, Pokemon, Smash Bros. Yep. That's all you need. That's all you need, and everybody's going to drop their draws to get your game. Period.
And like I said, and add in a couple of sports games. People like the golf.
Yeah,
people like
those are
tennis,
fairly popular.
The party games, stuff like that. The family stuff, the cheesy stuff.
There's so many games releasing just before this or just after this that it doesn't make sense to me why it's being fitted in where there's no other ones. Like if Pokemon Z through A isn't quite ready, delay the Switch 2 a couple months, line it up perfectly. Wonder just came out like a year and a half ago. Pretend it doesn't exist, act like it was always a Switch 2 launch. You've got that. There was a new Mario Party game that just came out recently. Delay that one, pretend it doesn't exist, release it on the platform. Like there's so many games that happened in the last year or are coming in the next year. Animal Crossing, if there was a new Animal Crossing, that would absolutely blow it away. Animal Crossing and Pokemon being a Switch 2 exclusive on launch, there's no competition. And then even Metroid Prime, which isn't a mainline franchise, coming out very soon. Donkey Kong very soon. Why are these games coming out so close to the Switch 2 but not on the Switch 2's launch? It doesn't make sense to me. You want to stack the deck in your favor. So it only makes sense to make as many exclusives at launch as possible.
Yep.
When you are management.
When you are Nintendo the exclusive king. Yeah, because I personally, for the other consoles, to me, exclusives don't matter. But that is what makes Nintendo. They're exclusives. Yeah, that 100%. Is where you rule the day. Not there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just bizarre, and that's why I was so concerned with the customer base. And look, I tip the rag to all the people that's been loading Nintendo for all these decades, and good for y'all. But if you're about to drop 500 large on the Switch, what are they giving you? you just really got to stop and think about what you're spending your dollar on. You're not going to sit there and tell me I'm going to buy this console so I can go and play retro Nintendo when I actually have a Switch that can do that already.
And
so
Ruben,
I just
I
just don't get where the player base is thinking.
And
you don't own the console, you don't own the games.
We talked about this last week, yeah.
And you have to go to the fucking federal government if you don't agree with anything Nintendo does with messing up your Switch.
That's crazy, dog.
Yeah, but Nintendo, the hardcore Nintendrones, they don't care. They don't care. Oh, my Switch things are mouses now. Yay. Oh,
it's so funny that these people call us Sony ponies because we're like, yeah, we have a PlayStation. Yeah, I like some of their games. I'm going to criticize Spider-Man 2 to hell and back, but
hey, it's also my Blu-ray player. It's my Blu-ray player. It's a media center.
It's providing you a lot of stuff because of like the Blu-ray player.
It's my background on every stream. Because
I still haven't gotten a PS5. I'm still on PS4, happy with my 4. Yeah. But apparently that makes us drones. But these people calling us drones because we're like, yeah, give us some value for our dollar.
I know it's mice. I was making a joke, Static. I could have said Mises. You go down that road.
Yeah, I got that reference.
He's just doing that because he knows it's annoying. But yeah, so what galls me the most is this could have been the most well-executed, biggest launch of all time, and it's just been a goddamn mess. And I'll give credit to some Nintendo fans. They have been highly critical of it, yet they're still going to pay for it.
Oh, they're going to pay.
They're still going to do it. They're highly critical, but they're still going to do it. And the only way anything ever learns is if you speak with your wallet. And listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Nintendo lost me at the N64. Not because it was going to be a bad machine, but because they didn't have games I wanted. They were not going to make RPGs anymore.
That's
Sony did. Sony got the RPG third-party games, so that's where I went. Because back then,
go to where you get what you want, where the company gives you what you want, and where they give you something. Because I don't think the Switch 2 is giving you shit.
No, not a thing.
No, I mean, I did recently pick up an RPG for my Switch, but I haven't played it. I started to play it, but then I didn't play it how I thought I was going to play it. It was to be played on the road, but then I was sick, and I just never got back to it. I haven't even brought my Switch back up and put it back in the dock. It's still sitting in a bag in the closet right now.
Oh, geez.
Because I'm playing better games. This game is fantastic. If you are an RPG player like myself, Expedition 33 has been glorious. I've been having the time of my life playing it. I'm in the final part. When I'm done with that, we're going old school. We're going back home, baby. So I got so many things. And recently I played this fun, great, pure goodness. Last night we killed bugs. We purged heretics. All right, if you guys want a fun time, it's unlisted. I could relist it because I'm promoting it now. Sleazy, if Sleazy is still in the chat, here's a story. Here's what, to me, the gaming experience is where you're getting some good. Last night, when we were done with Dark Tide, we moved on to Starship Troopers. And I have in-game chat turned off, so I don't hear what the other people outside the boys are saying. We're all on Discord, so we're all talking to each other. But some of the guys still have it on, like Dom. If Dom's still here, Dom was there. They still on, so they hear what some of these guys are saying sometimes. So we went into a match. It was a horde run. We were on X11, and it's a horde match where it's 10 rounds of ever-increasing waves of bugs. And we went in there. We're in joking mode at this time.
I like horde mode. That was fun.
Oh yeah. So we went in there and it's normal, not hard, just normal though. Normal's good enough. So we're killing shit. But they're there. We heard through the chat there was this one dude who started to say, "You guys are doing it wrong. What are you doing?" Now I say it all the time, but I do it in my manner of, "Why are you building a door in the middle of a base where we don't need the doors? We're all in here." And I complain about bad construction all the time, and that's just my thing. And it was amateur hour life that shit. But this guy started criticizing us, and at one point he said, "I played this game a lot. I'm a game tester." So all that did and it was Sleazy started it, and we all got in. We were just prompting. They started doing the I'm a gamer. Like, hey, come on, guys, you're not doing it right. We just went on this thing for like half an hour, and the guys losing. At some point, the guys couldn't shoot straight because they were laughing so hard. we just kept saying, "Come on, guys, I'm a beta tester." We added in the joke, "My dad's about a Microsoft's gonna get you fired." All that kind of shit. And Sleazy did like the voice perfectly. Yeah, I'll enlist it now. I'll enlist it right now. It's during, I think it's in the third hour of the stream. I'll leave it up for the rest of the day so you guys can go listen to it. I probably should clip it out too. I should make a video of that. I really should.
You should. That's funny.
I should. It's good. It was funny. But they we spent an hour laying into this guy constantly, and he was so spurg angry at us. He was yelling at us the whole time, apparently, the whole time. And he just kept needing to start. Here's how bad it was. We stopped making fun of each other to make fun of this guy. That's how much it was. We stopped ragging on each other in game to make fun of this guy for 30 minutes. And he crew,
that's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, we just, that's all we did. And I didn't. I was like giving suggestions because I wasn't having it on. But that's gaming, and that's gamers, and that's fun. But that's not Nintendo. Nintendo provides. My reason for bringing this up is Nintendo brings a different experience. And if you want that experience, you should give it to the people you are peddling to. Problem is, as you guys said, they're not giving them that experience. They're not giving the games. Where's the single player glory for Nintendo? It's not here yet for Switch 2, as I see it. But all that being said, it's still going to be a great launch. It's still going to be fun. It's still going to be massive. Eventually, the Switch 2 will pick up the Steam and have the library. It's going to happen. It's just not happening in the frame that wants to. And I think it all does boil down to what we said last week. Nintendo lost control of the narrative when the leak started, 100%. And it never recovered. And they've been doing damage control ever since. And in their mind, the only way to maintain control is to release this early. I think originally the Switch 2 was going to be a Christmas launch. That's my belief. It's going to be a holiday launch.
Yeah.
That would make a lot more sense.
And it has made no sense to me since they made it the June launch. Made no sense. Because it's June. Yeah, the kids are out of school, but
they want to go outside.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is this, like Jet said, could have been the all-timer, and instead it's just going to be a timer. There we go. All right, I'm out of topics. If you guys got anything you want to toss out there, I'd have no problem ending it early so I can go hurt myself editing my Doctor Who review.
Only thing I'd like to say is I've also clicked the retro button. I've been playing a lot of XCOM lately.
Ooh, like old school XCOM, like
old
PC
school
XCOM. I never played it, but I sat with a friend when he played it at 20 years ago. And he was on the PC, and I was there. I was essentially the guy sitting with him, giving him, let's do this, let's do that. I was there for the ride. I was part of the game, but he was playing it. So we were working together. I was like, let's build this business, do that, upgrade this. We had the characters had all their names. It was like, oh, it's Louis. Go, Louis, go. And like we were attached. Yeah. And of course, it ended where we got overwhelmed. It ended
always.
We got overwhelmed. The only XCOM game I ever played by myself was one a few years ago, cross-platform release for PS4. XCOM, I guess it was 2. I guess they called it 2.
Yeah, XCOM 2. I think that was about 10 years ago. Yeah, XCOM 2 about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I played it. That was fun. That was okay. I liked it. I got rid of it because I played it once. It's like, okay, what am I going to do? Play it again? It's kind of done. Yeah. I beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, I've been having the time of my life. I was like, yo, I haven't played XCOM in like a decade. I'm like, yo, let me get back on this joint. And I am having so much fun. Mm-hmm. I sat there for hours. Like my wife came in, she was like, I haven't seen that. I said, Miss Daniels, get out of here. Like, don't distract me. Yes, I know. It's been many years. Like, let me have this. Don't take this from me.
That baby's gonna be born in a month. Let me have some fun.
I was like, I gotta get my skills up so I can teach my son. So yeah. So yeah, I've been playing XCOM and I've been powering up my Dreamcast back there, playing some Power Stone. I've been having myself a good old retro time, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited. And soon my son will be here in about 3.5 weeks, at most 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be a
Hell
whole
yeah.
Be
daddy.
sooner. I was born a month early, so it could be sooner.
Yeah, he's
same
he's
here.
already turned. So
Adam is
Yeah, I
always
was-
premature. You heard it here.
I was
I- no,
born born a couple of weeks early as well, and I was nearly born in the back of my dad's car because I decided to come up.
oh my god.
I was full size. If I had been in another month, my mom would have needed a C-section to get me out. If I
Oh my
been in there another month.
goodness.
I was already 8 pounds. I was ready to
Oh
go.
my god.
I was ready to go. I was
Big
68
old Jew
pounds.
baby.
I was 68 pounds. It
He
was
came out with the Jufro.
No, I did not. I had hair, but I never. Point is, no, yeah, it could happen early. It could happen early. So
Yeah. So we're like, so he turned last week, so it could be any minute.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it could be any minute.
yeah.
So we're
All right,
excited.
and
Hell yeah.
you'll get rightful time off if you need it.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's gonna be taking so much.
oh,
We need more brutals in the world.
we do.
Anyway, all right. So let's wrap it up. We're done a little early today, but that's fine. As I said, I have a busy afternoon and evening still ahead of me with finishing my doctor review and getting ready for the autopsy stream somewhere around 6 or 7, and then I still got stuff later tonight to do. So let's go on the horn, pitch our wares, and be on our way. Jed, go.
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar. The only thing I have going on this week is Doctor Who Cares reviews tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, which will be the final send-off. I'm hoping that we're looking at the Wilderness Years Part 2. This is the first time. It's actually officially on hiatus, because this is the first time since the show came back that there was no news of production or renewal by the time a season ended. So it's technically on hiatus. And then the only other thing is Saturday Night Drive-In this week, which I don't know what we're watching yet. I think Adam will talk more about that.
Yeah, we got it. A minority has spoken, so we have to go with it. Dragon Lady.
I should be playing The Sims at some point. I might or might not be here next week. I think I might not be here actually.
All right. Dre.
Yeah, so we'll see what's going on this week, but for sure, hopefully I'll be dropping my review of ISO number 3, hopefully on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Brew Playing Comics YouTube channel. I am literally looking forward to this read. I'll be reading it for at least hopefully tomorrow. I'll have some time to actually jump into it, because it's actually a thick mother. She's thick with it, so this should be a good read. Yeah, that should be it, I think. Follow me on X Twitter at TheBrood00. Do those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the vids.
Okay, as for me, as I said, stay tuned for my Doctor Who, Shooty Who, Season 2, Episode 8 review. It's done. I simply need to do some editing to make it happen. Then later this evening, autopsy stream. I promised it on Wednesday. I had to push it back to today. Why Wheel of Time was canceled. We're going to go back in time. We're going to show some of my videos from 3 years ago where I covered this shit. Young man, barely knew what he was getting into. So stay tuned for that. It'll be an open door. Don't know if I'll have guests. See what happens. Let's see. Later tonight, I will be recording our usual Wormhole Watch with Brad, Fractured, and Jay Hitman. See that every Wednesday, the edited version on Brad's channel, Duke Devil 95. Then let's see, rest of the week, every 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Join me for the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the audience, are in charge. You make the show happen. We have a lot of good times there. And then Mellow Mondays, along with Doctor Who Cares reviews tomorrow night. And throughout the rest of the week, we're going to make a push to try and finish Exposition 33 this week and move on to old school Lunar goodness. I'm in a grinding mode, getting it done. And at some point next week, we will get EU Book Club, Barbara Hamley's Children of the Jedi. So thank you, everybody. I think I said everything. Oh, yes. Okay. Saturday Night Drive-In next week. Chat choice has ended. Jed, we'll be watching The Apple Dumpling Gang.
Figured that was winning.
Yeah. It's an old Disney movie.
I know nothing about it.
I saw it when I was a kid. It's a movie. It's a movie. That's the thing with the chat choice. You never know what we're gonna get. And only a few of you showed up, so the minority speaks. I am now deleting it right now. No more votes are happening. It is gone. Over. Done. There you go.
I'm hoping the Last Starfighter wins at some point. That one's always put in there.
They didn't put it in last time, so I don't know. It wasn't in this time. Although we do owe Gal an apology. Dragonheart was supposed to be in there, but because she had put it in,
gay.
Well, no. This is actually my fault. I have to own up to this. Because she said it in a comment to my comment. When I was making the list, I had only things I hadn't replied to. I had forgotten that, so I didn't see it. So we will get that in there. We will get that in there next time. So it'll be in there. Listen, I would still piss on it. I don't hold that movie on a pedestal at all. It's like some people do. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Join us next Saturday for Drive-In Chat Choice 2025 second quarter. Apple Dumpling Gang. All right, so there we go. Show over. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate your support. We're happy you had a good time. Best way to show that, hit the like button. Share the channel. I am 51 subscribers away from 4,000.
Hell yeah.
I think we can do it this month. I think we can do it. I think we can get there. And I feel like great things are going to happen if I can get over 4K. I feel like great things are going to happen. And the algorithm will say, hey, let's give this guy attention. Let's make things work. Anyways, thank you, everybody. Everybody have a good evening. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.